Ah, there's people outside my window. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to film a little video today about how to stay productive during quarantine, but honestly just productive in general as well. I know for the past month and a half or so, I have been struggling to find motivation to do my schoolwork, especially since we moved online. The good thing for me is I actually just finished my last final during this video, so I'm officially done with school for the year right now, but I know not everyone is in the same boat as I am, so I wanted to help you guys figure out ways to stay productive, stay on top of your work, and frankly just get everything done so you guys can have summer just like I am. The first tip that I have to try to be more productive is actually try to wake up earlier. I try to wake up about an hour and a half before my roommate does, so I just have time to kind of just be by myself and do whatever I want to in the morning to calm down. I do suggest waking up naturally and trying to, you know, still get 8 hours of sleep and stuff, but if you cannot wake up naturally earlier than you normally do, then I would suggest setting an alarm, of course. And this is, of course, different per person. I personally wake up at like 8:30 or 9, but you don't have to. If you usually start your day at noon, that just might mean you wake up at 10 or 10:30 or something like that. It entirely depends on when you normally start your work and start your day. I also just thoroughly enjoy waking up early because I have, like I said, a lot of time that I can just kind of just be within myself and get connected to myself, because I feel like when I have time to get connected to myself, I end up getting a lot more done throughout the day. The second tip that I have for you guys is actually just to make your bed. I know it sounds like a super simple task, but for me it's just a very simple task I can do right in the morning, and I know that I have at least one thing done during the day. I also like it because it makes a room look a lot more cleaner. I personally do better within a clean environment trying to do work and stuff, so having my bed made makes me feel like, one, I can't just climb into it and get comfortable again, but also helps me remain productive. Tip number 3 is, for me at least, I like to have a coffee or tea in the morning with a little bit of caffeine in it to try and wake me up. I usually go for a coffee if I really need like an energy boost, because it obviously has more caffeine, but this morning I went for a tea just because I personally like teas better, because I feel like they don't stain my teeth as much as coffee does, obviously, but also I feel like tea is a lot just more energizing for me. While my coffee or tea is brewing though, I do make sure to drink a small glass of water. Water kind of wakes me up a little bit, gets like the insides moving, I guess, but it's also ensuring that I do get some water in my system instead of solely drinking coffee or tea in the morning, because everyone needs a little bit of water. The fourth tip that I have is, like I said, just take some time for yourself in the morning. I know for one, I love to turn on the rock salt lamp that we have in the living room and to start diffusing some essential oils, because that's something that I can like do ahead of time that'll set the mood for the living room when I finally come out of my like cave, I guess, my little room cave later on to do some yoga and stay in the living room and such. But other than that, whether this means lighting a candle or possibly reading or like meditating, YouTube, Netflix, whatever you guys would like to do on your own is all you need to do. It does not have to be fancy. It does not have to be super like connecting like meditation is for me. You guys can quite literally just sit and watch your own Netflix show and just be by yourself for an hour. I just like that because it makes me feel a lot more grounded. It makes me, like I said, have a connection to myself, and when I have that connection to myself, I can kind of gauge what I need throughout the day better to allow me to help being more productive with my own work. Something else I would suggest that works for me at least is an early morning exercise of some sorts. Now, I am not one to do very rigorous exercise in the morning. If you enjoy going to the gym and doing rigorous exercise in the morning, by all means, all power to you, go do that. But personally, I don't enjoy it. And even if you do go do that, I would suggest doing kind of a low level workout sort of a thing, like whether that be taking a walk. I know this morning it was pretty nice outside, so I went out and took a walk this morning, and I personally like to just plug in some headphones and turn on some music, whether it be music that I found off of TikTok or something else that I just found in my library that I enjoy listening to, and kind of just plugging away the world but still going on a walk to get my body moving and waking me up a little bit easier. I also like to set timers for when I go on a walk because it makes sure that I walk for a certain amount of time, but it also kind of holds me accountable just so I don't spend too much time walking or too little time walking. Another easy morning exercise that you could do is, of course, yoga. If you've seen any of my week in my life or day in my life videos, you would know that I do yoga every single weekday morning and most of the weekends. So that's just some other things you can do to kind of get your body flowing, get the juices flowing a little bit, and really just wake up your mind and your body. Number 6 is gonna sound like a really big deal, but I promise you that it's not. And my 6th tip is actually just to try to eat healthier. I know that when I eat healthier, I usually have a lot more energy. I don't crave as much throughout the day, so I don't have to take as many like snack breaks when I'm working on things. So I definitely try to eat healthier. I actually this morning for breakfast had a cereal that I made myself. It was a homemade cereal. And if you guys actually tune into my video that I'll be posting next Sunday, I will actually kind of have how I made that in that video. But you don't have to make any drastic changes. I do want that to be like the biggest thing that I preach here, is you don't have to go from eating non-stop sweets and junk food to like only eating vegetables. That's not what I'm saying at all. You can still definitely have your cheats and stuff like that. I just personally try to eat, like I said, like granola and seeds and nuts and stuff rather than going for a chocolate bar all the time. Personally, I switched out my regular pasta with wheat pasta. You can just add protein powder if you're not meeting your protein intake for the day. A big thing for me is take your vitamins. I take a multivitamin every morning. I also take magnesium to help with my migraines, and as of right now with everything going on, I also take vitamin D in the morning to kind of boost my immune system a little bit. Tip number 7 is just to sit down and plan out your day. I personally feel a lot more productive when I have a schedule to follow, and it doesn't even have to be like a strict schedule, like you have to get this done at 1 p.m., you have to get this done at noon. It doesn't have to be anything like that. I just like to sit down and in my planner write down, hey, this is what I want to get done today. And if there is something at a specific time, then of course I'll write it down at that specific time, but it doesn't have to be that structured. Just having like a little to-do list for the day is something I find helps me, you know, motivate myself for the day and make sure that I get my tasks completed. My 8th tip is actually just to get dressed. And I know that sounds really simple, but it's amazing what putting on just like a pair of denim shorts or whatever will do for you. Because personally, I know for me it makes it a lot harder to get comfy on the couch or a bed most of the time, so I simply just put on jeans. I'm not saying you have to do anything fancy. As you guys can see, I literally just put on denim shorts and a cropped t-shirt. Super comfortable, but that's all you need to do is just get out of those like super comfy clothes and put on something that's going to almost feel like you're actually still going to school, even though you're actually just not leaving the house. Another thing too is just do your full skin and makeup routine. You do not have to do a full face of makeup. I do want to clarify that now. I know I do usually a lot more makeup when I was going to school than I did during quarantine, but I still make sure I go through my full skin routine, putting of course the moisturizer and the oils and using the jade roller on my face. I think it just helps not only still wake me up in the morning, but it makes me feel more normal and still more within routine that I would have if I was still going to school. And like I said, the makeup Does not have to be a full face. This morning I literally just did my eyebrows and put on some mascara, but I know for me that makes it a lot easier for me to just not lay down and like take a nap or whatever, because I don't want to have mascara smudges all over my face. And going along with the skin routine thing, it makes me just feel like I'm in a routine and like I'm still going to school and I still have places to go and things to do, so that personally helps me stay productive. Tip number 9 is to isolate yourself in a space for work. Usually I would not recommend doing this on a bed or a couch, but if these are the only spaces you have, like I said earlier, make your bed and you can sit on top of the bed sheets or the comforter or whatever. Do not get under them, sit on top of them. But personally for me, I have a desk in my room that I like to sit down on. I always love working at a desk because I feel like I have more space to spread out anyway and it's more comfortable to write on and such. But the big tip here for me is, like I said earlier, make sure it's clean. Like I said, I flourish within a clean environment. So as long as my desk is not cluttered and doesn't have a bunch of random things all over it that aren't supposed to be there, I'll be very productive. But like I said, wherever you guys choose to work is totally fine as long as it motivates you and it's clean. Tip number 10 is to listen to some music that is calming. I know a lot of people like to listen to lo-fi beats, and I do that sometimes as well. Some people listen to classical music. I have a playlist on Spotify called Vanilla Ice Latte. I think it's something like that. And it's just a bunch of kind of music that I enjoy listening to, but it's also more like calming, I guess, than typical like pop music or whatever. I just always connect that to my Bluetooth speaker whenever I'm doing work and have that playing in the background at a pretty low volume, just so something's going on in the background because I cannot sit in silence, but also because it does kind of help me like zone in more on what I'm doing, since I frankly usually only listen to that when I have other things going on in the first place. Tip number 11 for me is actually to take breaks. I feel like a lot of people sit down in an area wanting to get stuff done, trying to be productive, and feel like they have to stay there until they finish the work, and that's not true at all. That actually, I think, is counterproductive because then you have to force yourself to really sit there. But you just need to listen to your body and take breaks when you need them. Otherwise, we're all gonna go brain dead, and these breaks can be whatever you want them to be. You can watch like a 15-minute YouTube video. You can watch Netflix, read, get a snack, whatever you need to do during that break. And I know a lot of people say like, oh, only take a 15-minute break, only take a 10-minute break, but take however long a break you need, truly, because I feel like if you're trying to limit yourself, that also just stresses you out even more. I personally, at least for myself, wouldn't do a break longer than an hour at the absolute longest, but 30 minutes is typically where I cut it off personally, just because by that time I'm pretty rested and still have the motivation to get back into work. But if I go like over an hour, I have to rebuild that motivation, and for me it takes like an entire morning to do that, and I won't have time to do that later in the day, especially if I have a lot to do that day. So yes, take out however long of a break that you need, but still make sure you're not taking too long of a break that you lose all the motivation you took the time to build up to. Tip number 12 for me is actually to work out. I know this is going to be hard for some people because not everyone does it, of course, but I actually would suggest working out later in the day. I know that that's kind of a break for me, and it also is a stress reliever. Working out is a stress reliever for a lot of people, so that's another reason why I suggest it. Now, if you did work out in the morning because that's when you like to do it, good for you, you got it out of the way. But like I said earlier, I can't do that. So whether that means you work out in the mid-afternoon or the evening, I definitely think you just need to work out. It doesn't have to be overly rigorous. You can just do a few song workouts or whatever. Right now, I'm actually doing the Chloe Ting ab challenge. That video will be posted next Sunday, so make sure to check it out when it is posted. But that's kind of what I do. I usually work out about like 6 or 7 p.m. when you guys do not have to work out at the same time that I do. Work out whenever you feel best, but definitely try to get a workout in there, even if it's only a 15-minute workout, because not only does it give you energy and like rejuvenate your body, but it also, of course, is a break from your work. And my last tip is actually just to make sure you get enough sleep. I highly recommend trying to get 8 or 9 hours of sleep. Now, I also leave time in the evening for myself to kind of just like stretch out before bed and kind of chill and have more alone time. Sorry, there's a big bug that just landed on my window. Anyways, I take time in the evening to just chill out, be by myself again, and kind of disconnect from the work and reconnect to myself and like where I'm at and calm myself down for the evening, because I feel like that's a big thing too, is so many people go to bed with stress and stuff because they don't take that time to reconnect themselves and de-stress themselves at the end of the day. So please, please, please take that time. But also, yeah, like I said, make sure you're going to bed at a decent enough time that you can actually preferably wake up earlier in the morning, like I said, but also just so you get enough sleep in general. Alright guys, that's all for my tips to stay productive. I know those help me a lot, especially during quarantine. Those have helped me a lot to stay productive because it feels like I'm still on a normal routine like I would be if I was going to school. So I hope that those tips helped you guys out, especially if you guys have been having trouble as well. But that is all for this week. Make sure to, like I said earlier, check back next week for my Chloe Ting Ab Challenge workout. I personally feel like it's been pretty beneficial so far, but you'll have to see the video to see the results. But that is all for this week. If you guys liked it, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later. Yeah.